You want to be a faster editor so you can doom scroll and play video games, or spend time with your family or whatever. Alright, here are some tips to do that. Get your phone out of the room, disable all notifications, and unplug your internet connection. 90% of being an efficient and good editor actually isn't about keyboard shortcuts, optimization, or whatever. It's just sitting down and doing the work. You basically know what you need to be doing. Just focus, stop distracting yourself, and you're more than halfway there. If you're distracted and constantly watching YouTube videos or scrolling your phone, you're never gonna get anything done. So this is the biggest tip I can give you, just get your phone out of the room. Another thing that helps me is using a Pomodoro timer. You can get one of those physical kitchen thingies that you just spin around to set the time to and not look at your phone. But my personal favorite, and nerd alert here, I really like Pomodoro timers with Skyrim music. Even if you look at the screen for a long time, take breaks, and this 5-minute break is the perfect opportunity to get up, get some water, get a coffee, let your eyes rest a little bit from the screen. It's extremely frustrating when you're working and your computer is just chugging along. Invest in a good computer. Don't ever let a bad computer stop you. I started on a €150 laptop, but having the best computer possible is gonna help you so much, and make sure that your Davinci Resolve is optimized. Go to Davinci Resolve, Preferences, Memory and GPU, make sure this is on auto and that here you've chosen your GPU and allocated as much RAM as you can. When I used to have a worse computer, I just didn't have anything else open other than Davinci Resolve. If you're still getting choppy playback, go to Playback, Timeline Playback Resolution, and lower it to a quarter or half, whatever you need. Except when you're color grading, then it's better to just have choppy playback but see the actual colors good. But as you can see, you're seeing it on like a really small part of the screen anyway, so it's not gonna make as much of a difference when you're editing. Even if you need to make proxies, it's better than being frustrated. One of the things that I've done, I've mapped my selection mode, which is A, and blade edit mode, which is B, to the side buttons of my mouse, and I'm gonna show you how to do it very easily. Alright, so just go in the link in the description to this website over here, click on latest version and let it install. Just go through the installer. Alright, so after you've done installing the software, you just open it, and as you can see, nothing is changed, but mouse button 4 and 5 is actually your side mouse buttons. So we click on simulated key, A for the first one and B for the second one. Okay, and once we click apply, here you can see that these two buttons are changing in the software, and this is really useful. Let me show you. So if you have just, let's say, a couple of videos, you saw this hike from my previous video, but here, instead of having to just go like this and then select this and then go back to this to select or whatever, I can do a lot of cuts and then change to the selection mode, and it saves a lot of time when it's just under your finger. Alright, so my favorite is the trim edit mode. So let's say we have a bunch of clips in our timeline, just like this. They're different lengths, some of them are cut, some of them are full, and we just wanna do some corrections. Well, if we just use the selection mode here, if I drag here, it doesn't ripple. Let's try that after we press T to select the trim edit mode. As you can see, the first and very important part of this is that it can really easily slide videos around just like this, which allows you to manipulate them in ways that you can't with the selection mode. This white outline that you're seeing right here, do you see this? This is a representation of where your clip actually is in the timeline. So the clip is between this and this point right here. When you go to the middle of the clip, you can slide it around like this, and if the clips around it allow it, when you go to the bottom, you can slide it in between the clips. If I just wanted to move the clip to here, I could press T and then drag it to there, like that, or I can just press Shift and right bracket, and it's going to do the exact same thing. The trim tool is one of the most useful tools in Davinci Resolve, and in combination with the X mouse button controls and the side mouse buttons on this mouse, it's really easy to cut footage. Something that a lot of productive people like to talk about is batching tasks. Layer your edits. First do a rough cut where you know exactly how the story goes, roughly the length, then do the sequences, color grading, audio effects. Make a system that works for you and follow it. The idea is to not be distracted here, polish this whole section, do the colors, the sound effects, visual effects, everything, and then jump and start from the start on another section. It's always better to have everything planned out and then just have stages throughout your edit where you can know that the next 1 hour I'm gonna just be doing sound effects. This way you don't have to constantly multitask and switch between things, which is gonna save you a lot of time while editing. If you have recurring work or you're working on your own projects, always look for the bottlenecks and see how can you improve. Can you cut down time with a device or a new trick that you can learn? Your third project should take you about half the time the first one did. And constantly try to look for optimizations and how to make your editing faster and better. Alright, so now let me show you how I edit these YouTube videos. So I have the main talking head here and the side profile. I'm flexing here a little bit, so I don't know why I was doing that, but look at these muscles. Anyways, we just select everything, right click and auto align clips based on waveform. This used to be a lot worse in Davinci, but it's gotten a lot better throughout the years. And as you can see, that ensures that you always know. I'm very scared of the camera here, but also it's very good sync. And as you can see, we have the two different clips. One way to edit this, the first way I'm going to show you, is without using a multicam. Let's see, I've got this gap here that I want to remove. First, I press Ctrl B, which is going to cut all the clips under the playhead. Let's cut again, where I want the gap to stop, and then I want to select everything under the playhead. The shortcut for that is Shift Alt V, and this is gonna select everything under the playhead, and then I can click delete to repo delete everything. And this process is quite simple, but it requires me to reach over with my right hand from my mouse to my keyboard to press that delete key. And also Shift Alt V is 3 buttons which I don't really love. So here's how I fix it. I go to Davinci, keyboard shortcuts, and then I go to repo delete. We go to the edit, we remove this, and we assign it with X. We can see that X is already assigned to mark clip. So we go to mark clip and remove it. Alright, so this is the first change. You gotta name it awesome shortcuts or something, and now we close. Now, if we have a gap over here, for example, Control B, and then we press X and the gap is gone. And that's a lot easier, and you can do it with just one arm, while the other stays on the mouse. Now let's do something about this Alt Shift V. So it's select all clips under playhead. Alt Shift V. Remove that and press just Shift V. We can see that this is already assigned to trim select nearest clip. So we gotta go to select nearest clip and remove it from here. Save and close. And with that, my friends, we've just made it a lot more quicker and easier to actually do this. You press Ctrl B and Ctrl B, and then you go in the middle, Shift V and X. And when you start becoming very fast at that, you can literally edit, I think, like 1,000 times faster. Of course, you're gonna be watching the video, seeing how bad I am at talking to the camera still, all that stuff. But it's really fast and simple to actually do this. Alright, now that I've shown you this, let me show you the proper way to do it and the way that I like to do it when I have multiple angles, more than 2. Even with 2 angles, sometimes I like to actually do it the proper way with a multicam. But anyways, let's auto align clips based on waveform. Once again, just check it. You can click drag to select all of your... Check it at the end as well. But the good editor goes unnoticed. That is basically the whole premise. I'm so pretentious sometimes. Anyways, we go to timelines. We're currently on the talking head here, timeline. Control C, Control V to make a copy of it. Name it whatever you like, but I like to name it the name of the timeline plus Multicam to keep things organized. I like to make a new bin with multicams inside of it to keep track of all your timelines. I think something that by default should be selected in Davinci is just the display stacked timelines option. This allows you to see all your timelines and it's very easy to navigate. You have the normal talking head and an exact copy that's the multicam. I like to just right click, convert timeline to multicam clip. It's gonna remove itself from here because it's not a timeline anymore, and it's a multicam clip. It has this funky icon and I'm gonna move it here. So I just have the sequences here, the timelines, and I have the talking head. Now I just remove the videos by first unlinking and then deleting them, as you saw, like this. And then I get the timeline and drag it in. Again, I unlink, grab just the video, place it here, and remove the audio. See if it's synced. Oh my god! I don't know why I was flexing. I genuinely don't know. Just close up the media pool and the inspector so we can see both windows here. Make sure that here it's not on source but on multicam, where all my time. And now you can see live preview of all of your angles and your main angle from here playing. So now you can go through your video and live edit. Where my timelines go, why I use more than one, you're gonna learn. Why I use more than one, you're gonna learn. As you can see, I'm struggling here. After you've done your edit, let's see, that's all the edits I wanted to do. You just select everything, right click, flatten multicam clip. This is just gonna be just as if you edited it with the original footage. So now you can do all of your adjustment, everything, and it's gonna be here. This is a proper way to edit multicam. Another thing that you can do is something that I used to do when I was editing weddings and had a shit ton of footage to get through. I just put it in a timeline like this, either just like that, the whole thing or everything, or I just close the inspector out and find my moments like this, in, out, and F9 to put into the timeline. Let's see, like that. Find the best moments, place them into the timeline, or just everything. And then after that, go to timelines, create a new timeline, name it whatever you want. I'm gonna name it main, like this. Then close it, go to your main timeline where you put everything, click this little icon right here to the right. It's gonna open up another timeline, and here you can put your main timeline. So now you have two stacked timelines, which is really useful. Close everything so it's easier for you to see. But now you can just look at all your footage from here and pick and choose and place it into the other timeline. And you can have this one really zoomed in and this one really zoomed out. That way you can pick footage like this, or pick moments of footage that you want to cut, insert and play around with, and you can see it on a really small scale and edit it a lot easier. After you're done, you just click this little icon, you're just left with whichever timeline you choose, and then you can go from there. When you have a busy timeline like this, there's a couple of things that you can do to help you edit it faster. The first thing is just switching clips. Select a video, whichever it is, and then Control, Shift, and the comma and period keys are gonna help you move it around the timeline while moving all the other videos out of the way. This is really the best way to switch the places of two videos next to each other. Just Control, Shift, and period. If you want to change everything after the playhead, Alt plus Y. this is going to select everything after the playhead. Even if it's a 2-hour timeline, it's gonna select everything and then you can drag it. Another thing that's very useful, if you have an edit like this and you're already in the timeline, you already made a bunch of cuts and you wanna see the source footage where that edit came from, it's really easy. You just click here. This is match frame. Alternatively, and you gotta close out of the inspector, and this is the exact frame in the exact video. This can also be done with the keyboard shortcut F. Another thing, if you have some sound effects or presets that you use on every project, is use power bins. So power bins, you can show them from here, show power bins, and I have nothing in here just to show you. You can drag this window around and I have a folder here with all my effects in different folders, so I can just drag it and drop it here in master. It's really important to drop it in master because that way it's gonna organize it by folders. Setting up power bins is one of the best things you can do, and that way you can have all of your effects that you use on every project without loading them on every single one. Thank you so much for taking the time to actually watch this video. I really do appreciate it. You can subscribe to this channel for more videos or click here to watch my video about 10 basic tips for beginner video editors. Cheers!